The blue trunks with red letters and weighing in at 212 pounds. He's from Bristol, Tennessee, and brings a professional record of 10-4. And ladies and gentlemen, all 10 of his victories are by knockout. Introducing Mike the Duke Dixon. And his opponent fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the gold trunks with black trim, weighing in at 225 pounds. From right here in Atlantic City, New Jersey, his professional record, 22 victories with 19 KOs, only 2 defeats. Ladies and gentlemen, the Atlantic City Express, Bruce Seldon.
Okay, let's take a look at the rules here in New Jersey, Al.
3 knockdown rules in effect, standing 8 also in effect. The doctor can stop the bout. The winner gets 10 points, loser 9 or less. The referee does not figure into the scoring, and you cannot be saved by the bell in any round here in New Jersey.
Okay, there is Bruce Seldon, whose 2 losses came back-to-back in 1991. And he started off this year by beating Jesse Ferguson. And there is Mike Dixon, born in Cleveland. He's 27 years old. He's lived in Atlanta for the last 7 years. And we are underway. Seldon snapping the jab.
Well, Bruce Seldon, from the beginning in his pro career, has shown one thing. He has an excellent jab. In the bouts he has not done well in, he's gotten away from using that jab, although losing to McCall, he was doing fairly well until he ran out of steam. Against Bo, he just ran right in to trade with Bo, and that turned out to be disastrous.
And he said it was as if he tried to prove something to himself and was too aggressive in that fight.
And very tight in the body. Oh, look at that left hand.
Real quick, double up. Real pretty by Seldon. Oh, Seldon all over Dixon. Hurt him with an uppercut. Real fast start.
That time, though, you see how Seldon opened himself up when he tried to throw that right hand. Even though Dixon wasn't able to counter it, that's the thing they don't want Seldon to do, but he's having his way with Dixon now.
Dixon, who's admitted to us that he's a notorious slow starter, is letting Seldon carry the fight.
And you don't want to be a slow starter against Bruce Seldon because he normally does come out of the chutes pretty fast. You can see here, and this is important to note, Seldon jumped on it, but then he stepped back and said, okay, I'm going to work on the things I want to work on. If this guy doesn't fall right away, I'm not going to go wild and try and put him out. They don't want that, because that won't work against the really good boxers.
Thus far, a very sharp start for Bruce Seldon. Jab has looked very good.
What Bruce Seldon has, and we talked with him at the weigh-in today about it, he has the potential to be very much a boxer as a heavyweight. He's got decent power, and as they said, when you have a build like him, and there he switches to lefty, people expect him to knock people out, and you can knock the lesser foes out. Bruce Seldon's ticket to the top may be that jab, pretty good movement, which he has, and clever boxing.
Dixon starts to open up a little bit, trying to get into the fight.
There's the right hand of Dixon I mentioned, but Seldon has an answer for it, doesn't he?
Seldon throwing some big punches, doubled up with the right hand effectively.
It's as if Dixon finally woke up here toward the end of round 1 after being totally dominated the first part of the round.
Big left hook, watch Dixon. Dixon tries to shake it off.
Look at how Seldon's taking his time, though.
Dixon has been down a couple of times as a pro, but he has never been stopped. His 4 losses have been by decisions. A solid round for Bruce Seldon.
For rack and pinion, and you got to give a guy like that exactly what he wants. The right parts and the right price.
Bruce Seldon throwing this left hook, which glances a little bit, but still showed the power he had, and it sent Dixon reeling against the ropes.
Really good round for Bruce Seldon.
Well, it was picture perfect, really. He did almost everything right. And when you look back at that round, if you want to be Mr. Trainer, as Carmen Graziano is, and the people who work with him, the only thing to look at and not like is when Seldon had him in trouble, he always squared himself up a couple times to Dixon and put himself in a position where he could be hit a little too much.
is an indication of the dominance of Bruce Seldon.
I would say that's a pretty good round. 58% landed and 44 punches.
And you could make a case for a 2-point round if you're judging.
Yeah.
At ringside, it was such a one-sided round.
That's true. And here in New Jersey, as in New York, they have urged judges in the past to do that on occasion.
Good flurry by Seldon. Finished with a right to the body. And it's all coming off the jab, Al.
He's got an excellent jab. We saw it in the first. We televised most of his fights in his first 7 or 8 fights, and always the jab was the key for him. The criticism of Bruce, of course. Now, see, I don't like that. If you're going to switch, switch. He gets caught in between switching, and we saw it against McCall and in a couple other cases. Now, Mike Dixon, who is, as we said, been slow to get off the blocks, hasn't been able to take advantage of that. But let's not rule Dixon out of this bout, because after all, he's been nailed with lots of shots here in the first 1.5 rounds, and he's still there. And he is the kind of guy that, as you said, doesn't get knocked out very easily.
He says he seems to get better the later the fight gets, and we'll see if he can carry it into later rounds.
He told us this morning that he must be busy. He said, I have to be busy, and he hasn't been that yet, Dixon. So.
Seldon's punch pace is slowed a little bit. And his foot movement is slowed a little bit. A little more stationary here in the second round. Is Bruce Seldon.
So Bruce Seldon is in with a guy that doesn't present him with the kinds of problems that some of the veteran boxers have, McCall and, of course, Bull. And so there could be the temptation to just go to what will easily work for you, which is go inside and just whack away with this guy, and they don't really want to do this. Now, Seldon switches, and he does okay from the lefty stand. So I wasn't trying to say he shouldn't be a lefty, but that much switching gets you caught. You got to stay with one style a little longer.
Seldon switching, still using a sharp jab from the southpaw stance. We come to the end of round 2. Mike Dixon out for round 3 to meet Bruce Seldon, scheduled for 10.
And he got quite a tongue lashing from Abdul Muhammad. Dixon did, his manager and trainer in the corner. He said, you got to do something. He said, this guy's looking like a world beater because you're not doing anything.
Use of the jab, Bruce Seldon has been good with it.
42%. Now, in the second round, Seldon dropped 38% of punches landed. They had a little bit less effective round, though certainly winning round 2.
Seldon bouncing back for those 2 defeats against Jesse Ferguson, won the IBF Intercontinental Championship. That belt is not on the line tonight, but he is still not ranked in the top 10. It's a couple more effective wins and impressive wins to get there.
The 2 losses, the one to McCall and then the one to Bull, dropped him out. And these days, because there are some heavyweight good right here.
Oh, man, he's all over Dixon. Now he stepped back. Looked like he had a clear advantage on Dixon.
It's almost as if Bruce Seldon wants the work, but I'll tell you, that's okay if he's going to use the work to get good work. But he's really showboating a little bit, switching back and forth in a way that isn't necessarily going to be effective for him. He's going to work on those skills, then he should just work on those skills.
In the fight against McCall, which Seldon was stopped in the 9th round, he faded late in that fight. He was ahead on the scorecards of the judges.
And he candidly admits that maybe his training methods needed some improvement. He feels like he's in good shape for this.
Good body shots by Seldon in this round. He's landed the right to the body a couple of times.
In that Ferguson bout, Bruce was leaving himself open for a left hook, which Ferguson landed sometimes and couldn't get in all the time. And I guess I must have repeated it a number of times because Bruce's camp said I did it ad nauseum, as they put it, and they were probably correct.
I can't believe you do anything ad nauseum.
Well, possibly I was redundant. Nothing else.
But you may have made the point.
Well, I did. Well, he's not exposing himself to it tonight. Although certainly Dixon's a different kind of boxer. And it's, you know, when you have a boxer like Bruce Seldon, who is quote-unquote a prospect, you do put him under a microscope, which in a sense is unfair, but it's very hard with heavyweights. When they're in against ordinary kinds of heavyweights, they look better often than they really are, more so than in other weight divisions. But it's very hard to judge young heavyweights.
I'm looking at Bruce Dixon, Mike Dixon, Al, and he's not doing anything.
Survival mode.
End of round 3. Second place in the NL East, or before they move west next season.
Real lineman.
It's Friday night. Baseball doubleheader on ESPN. This is round 4, scheduled for 10. Bruce Seldon in the gold trunks, Mike Dixon in the blue, and it's all Seldon thus far.
Bruce Seldon has had things completely his way. Here is a good example. Boy, when you said Dixon wasn't doing anything, you were not exaggerating, were you? 9% of his punches landed, and that's only 2 out of 22. And Abdul Muhammad, I'm sure, equally as distressed in the corner of Mike Dixon.
You can't win a fight when you land 2 punches in a round.
No, and if you...
Well, maybe you can if one of them is a hammer and you knock a guy out.
Yeah, it's about the only way. But Dixon is in very much a survival mode here tonight. It may be incumbent upon Bruce Seldon, no matter what he wants to work on, to go after Mike Dixon and get him out of there.
Dixon lost a 6-round decision to Pancho Carter December 12th, an 8-round decision to Alex Popov in Finland on March the 2nd of this year, and May the 9th he lost an 8-round decision to Corey Sanders.
Seldon had boxed most of his matches here in Atlantic City or on the East Coast, and they went out in April and June and fought in Oklahoma City and Kansas City. And they told us today, so we needed to do that to keep him sharp. When he got in there in a couple other matches, we felt that maybe he had not been in the ring enough in other matches and was a little rusty.
And the other thing the Seldon camp discussed with us was getting him away from Atlantic City, where he's the hometown hero, to take some of the pressure off of the high expectations of Bruce Seldon and the knockout expectations that you alluded to before.
Yeah, here comes Dixon finally putting some pressure on. Rocco, the person, his manager, Seldon's manager, made a very good point. He said, here's a young guy that grew up here in Atlantic City and wanted so desperately to be in the in crowd, if you will, and that would all relate to that. And then all of a sudden he's asked to appear at this club and that club. How do you tell him, no, don't do that, when you've grown up in an area all your life and now all of a sudden you're not only accepted, but you get adulation?
Mike Dixon starting to get into this fight a little bit.
He is going after Seldon a little bit, at least to make it interesting.
Seldon with good movement to stay away from Dixon's punches.
Dixon throwing the left hook more. The right is probably his more powerful weapon.
Body shot by Seldon. But Dixon has some answers, and he forces Seldon back. Time winding down in the 4th round. Maybe a little bit of a change in this bout.
Well, here, finally, is Mike Dixon trying to get something going. A couple of left hooks. Now, a couple of those were blocked. The last one got in, but at least he's trying to make a go of it here against Bruce Seldon.
He may have quadrupled the number of punches he landed in that round from the previous round.
Finally, in round 4, he may have done enough to win a round, to win a round.
Seldon comes back with the jab. A little closer. There you go.
And the percentage that Seldon landing dropping off considerably. This, of course, has been a problem for Bruce Seldon. As bouts have wore on, even bouts he's won, his effectiveness has sometimes diminished. That happened in the McCall fight, obviously.
Sharp work with the left hand by Seldon. And the body shot.
And the one thing I think Bruce Seldon would be making a mistake if he did, you notice he's not doing, there'd be a lot of switching around. He's going to be lefty, he should stay there for a while, but this is the ticket for him. Get back, and you can tell Carmen Graziano told him after the last one, get right back to what you're doing that you do well, just popping that jab out there, moving, and maybe throwing some combinations. Big
overhand right missed by Dixon. Second trip to Atlantic City for Mike Dixon. His first one, he lost a 6th-round decision to Elijah Tillery, May 8th in 1990. Tillery had him down in that fight. Dixon's been down twice as a pro, has never been stopped. Good right to the body by Seldon.
Some people don't get confused. Sam explained that IBF championship champ on his trunks doesn't mean the IBF world champ. It means the IBF Intercontinental Championship, as you mentioned. And I'll let you explain exactly what the IBF Intercontinental Champion might be.
Basically, a nice belt. Somebody had some extra belts that they needed to give away, and they gave one away.
And which intercontinent exactly does it make you the champion of? That's what I'd like to know. But that's for another day also. That title not on the line, but makes for a nice logo to put on Bruce Seldon's trunks. Now there's Dixon pressuring him, getting the right-handed. Now,
Good punches by Dixon.
and you can see Dixon, when he throws a few punches in a row, can get something done here, even though Seldon did a pretty good job of blocking some of those.
Dixon staying right on top of Seldon, and Seldon not moving, going toe-to-toe, comes with a left hook. Scores. Got the left hand through. Dixon shakes his head no, which most times means yes. It did sound pretty good. End of round 5.
This ought to be interesting in Bruce Seldon's corner.
I'm just going to box him a little bit, and then one maybe power. I've been looking for a second. He's not going to expect it. You try to 2, 1, 2, 3 with the feet, go right across, and win the best overhand right. You're liable to knock him out with one punch. Right.
Swallow, Bruce.
He's not expecting. We're going to try it right here. Try it right here. Walk right across it. No, Tom, because you usually touch gloves. I'm going to try it. I'm going to do it. Don't touch it. I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it.
Well, you know what to look for, the overhand right.
All right, let's see if Carmen Graziano is right when he says he might be able to knock him out.
Here's the left hook. It wasn't that good a punch, actually. When he shook his head no in this case, one of the rare occasions where it did say no. See if Bruce Seldon can get that overhand right in this round.
Round 6, scheduled for 10. Switches. They didn't want him to switch.
He's not going to get the overhand right in if he stays as a lefty, is he? Man. Squaring himself up. See, squaring yourself up to your opponent like that is not a good thing. Not a good thing. That's when you get caught in the switches. And I don't think even boxing purists these days are against people switching. Boxers have become known for doing it. The Tyrone Crawleys, the Marvin Hagglers of the world. However, you've got to do it with conviction and not leave yourself squared up to your opponent when you do it.
Seldon going back to the jab, a quick flurry. No big punches in there, but he finished with a good right to the body. Seldon back to jabbing, and that's been the best punch for him.
He's got an excellent jab. He just does.
Here goes the switch.
As a lefty, it's not effective, but he goes right back to righty, and he does it in a way that you get caught in between. And I'm sure that next time they'll say I said that ad nauseum also. But unfortunately, it's true. And I don't want to give the wrong impression. Rocco the Persian, Carmen Graziano, and Bruce Seldon, all great guys, and really very committed to Bruce Seldon's career and making it better.
And here's a case, Al, where the fighter has not listened to his corner.
No, he is not.
Didn't want him to do what he did.
They wanted him to go out and try and land an overhand right, and his posture in this round has been such that you can't. There was a use of the head by Bruce Seldon. Could have caused a cut. Here's where Dixon can do some good on the inside, but he just has not been able to get it done there.
Dixon just hasn't been busy enough, and he talked about staying busy and being first, but he certainly hasn't done that.
And, you know, he said he wanted to land the right hand, but his right hand was hurt in the last 3 fights that he had, but he said it was really healed and was working well, but maybe it isn't.
Seldon takes a little rest. West. Bruce Seldon, I think, could win this fight just sticking the jab in Dixon's fight.
Yeah, absolutely. And to an extent, that's what he's doing. And there it is.
Good shot to the body. That made Dixon wince.
And with a little better conditioning, you have to feel Bruce Seldon can do that much more often in a 10-round bout.
Sharp jabs by Bruce Seldon in round 6.
Bruce Seldon using the jab and then the straight right hand to the body. An excellent body shot by Seldon. He throws a very good right hand downstairs.
Sam Rosen and Al Bernstein ringside here at Harrah's Casino Hotel in Atlantic City. This is Top Rank Boxing. Round 7 scheduled for 10. Heavyweights Bruce Seldon in the gold, Mike Dixon in the blue. And I remind you that Barry Tompkins is pedaling his bike around France, covering Tour de France, and we know he's doing a fine job there. He'll be back at the end of the month.
I'm glad you're here. It's good to be with you. I hope Barry isn't lost somewhere in deepest, darkest France, though. Oh, man. Bruce Seldon just dominating in terms of the numbers of punches landed and thrown. 41%, not a bad percentage. It was much higher, you'll remember, in the first round or two. But then it started to go down.
Between rounds, Abdul Muhammad, the trainer and manager of Mike Dixon, said, listen, get in there, go right hand, go left hand, get this guy out of here. We can go home early. You keep me around later than I want to.
Well, they're hoping to go home early with a win, not with a loss. Huh? And I certainly can agree with his exhortations to Mike Dixon. Go after him. He's got to. He's certainly getting hopelessly behind on points at this point. Give him one round in the bout. That's about it.
That round I called even.
Yeah, so I mean, and, you know.
Now Seldon just moving, not even punching right now. Dropped the right hand to the side of the head.
And it hurt Dixon. That's what they wanted. 3 rounds.
And down from a left hand. Dixon was hurt by the right, sent down by the left. He's still shaking. Seldon going in to try and finish. Landing, big right, uppercut. Seldon trying to finish Dixon.
Now, that was a bad move by Seldon. He should throw the jab and the straight right hand. He got hit with an uppercut. Why? Because he squared himself up to Dixon. He makes a fundamental error when he does that. He could jab and straight right hand and Dixon would have been out of there. He made a big error and it cost him.
Dixon keeps shaking his head. Seldon keeps popping away. Dixon's trying to find his legs underneath him.
Mike Dixon
now putting some pressure on.
Mike Dixon took advantage of a fundamental error by Seldon, and I just got a little courage, Sam. And when I say squaring up, it means just squaring yourself, being open in front of your opponent. And maybe Seldon punched himself out a little bit there, too.
Left uppercut scored by Dixon. Seldon's got to back off.
Interesting.
Dixon has survived the knockdown. Final seconds of round 7. Dixon has never been stopped. That's the 3rd time he's been down as a pro. Elijah Tillery had him down. Corey Sanders had him down. End of round 7. And a shaky Mike Dixon. He survived on courage.
He really did, and let's give him credit. He hung in there in this bout. Let's listen.
You got to wake up now. I'm sorry about the mess, but you got to wake up now. Listen, don't keep standing your head there taking them shots now, okay? Move your damn head, all right? Punch back with the shot. All right?
You all right?
You feel great? Okay. Can we go? Can we pick the face up?
Here's the knockdown. It came with, remember that right hand they wanted? Well, there's the left hand. It followed, the right hand had hurt him. Then came the left hook. This was after the right hand had hurt him. And then that left hook came from Bruce Seldon. And from any angle, it hurts.
Perfect move by Seldon.
Yes, sir. I got you.
And shortly after that was where Seldon raced in, got Dixon in some trouble, but opened himself up so that Dixon could land an uppercut. That sent Bruce Seldon back, and it effectively got Dixon back in the bout.
This has become a lopsided fight in favor of Bruce Seldon.
He's in pretty much complete control, but really I think got a little tired in that 8th round after he had Dixon down and hurt, and that was when Dixon came back. Big advantage for Seldon.
The percentage has gone down, though.
Yeah,
the percentage landed.
Yeah, he will not be totally happy with 34%. It may go down more as this bout continues.
Seldon's got a little swelling under the right eye.
That move of Seldon's, you know, it's terrible. I mean, it really is. He squares himself up like that for no reason. There's no reason for that move. And that's when he gets in trouble. That's one of the ways Riddick bone nails. It is a move that means nothing and doesn't get you anything.
Seldon snapping the jab, going back and forth.
And, you know, you look at Bruce Seldon, he's got the hand speed. He's got decent power. And
I guess he thinks he's confusing his opponent and showing him a lot of movement.
Well, yeah, he's not, though. I mean, because of the fact that when you're going to switch like that, you've got to switch with conviction, make that style work for you at a certain point, then go back. Tyrone Crawley did it. We've seen him do it many times. Marvin Hagler has done it. That's not the way to do it. Now, he'll win this bout, Bruce Seldon, and he's doing many things right in this bout. His jab has been excellent when he stayed with the right-handed stance. When he did drop the right hand in, it worked. Where is it now? Carmen Graziano has asked him for the right hand repeatedly after that jab. He's not thrown it.
And it was that overhand right that Carmen Graziano talked about that stunned Dixon and opened it up for the left hook to score the knockdown.
And it came a couple of rounds after Graziano was exhorting him to throw it. Where is the right behind the jab for Bruce Seldon? It worked so well, and the one time he really did it, he hurt him and ultimately created a knockdown with him.
Dixon's just not doing anything.
And let's be honest.
Plotting and not presenting any offense whatsoever.
He is not giving much of an effort now. And, you know, let's be honest. A bout like this for Bruce Seldon, in a sense, it's called a tune-up bout. They're tune-up bouts. We've seen people lose tune-up bouts here on this network many, many times. That's why that's what makes them fun. But you have to learn things from it. You have to do things that will help you when you get in against a better opponent. And I'm not sure, not to be overly critical, I'm not sure Bruce Seldon's doing that right now.
And now a little blood trickling down the face of Bruce Seldon. That mouse under the right eye. Coming to the end of round 8. Out for round 9. It's all Bruce Seldon, with a brief moment here and there for Mike Dixon. Dixon was down in the 7th round. Last round, not much action from Dixon.
Now, you see Seldon landing the jab very effectively. Only 5 of his punches were non-jabs of those 37.
A lot of movement in that last round for Seldon, just staying away from Dixon, using the ring. Dixon looking tired, just plodding along. Now uses his jab.
Yeah, and some of that, of course, is what may make Seldon effective against even the better boxers. I just think he needs to do it in a more purposeful way, with a more specific plan than he showed in the last round.
His trainer, Dixon's trainer, Abdul Muhammad, told him between rounds, you got to go out and use that jab, and if you don't, you come back here, I'm going to beat your behind. He used some more colorful terminology.
Occasionally, there is some.
The Seldon people are looking for Ray Mercer. They had a fight lined up with Mercer for June 13th. That fell out when Mercer suffered a back injury. They really want to get Mercer in the ring.
Well, and the style that Seldon can fight could be somewhat effective against Ray Mercer if he has to get whacked with something big. Because obviously the way to beat Ray Mercer is to box, confuse him, make him come to you and lay a counter shot. But if Seldon does it in a haphazard way, as we've seen in some of the rounds here, he'll get nailed by Mercer.
Seldon people feel that's their stepping stone. If they can get Mercer in the ring and perhaps beat him, that'll be their stepping stone toward a title shot.
Did Seldon hurt his right hand?
Shaking his right hand. He's had problems in the past with his hands.
Maybe that's the reason he hasn't thrown it in this bout, although he didn't say anything in the corner when Graziano asked for the right hand. Mike Dixon, I mean, he's just done nothing offensively. Seldon's given him good movement, which has made it difficult, but nevertheless, he still has not done too much. And we haven't seen the right hand from Seldon. Now, when he switches lefty, of course, he's got to use the right hand as the jab, which may make him not switch. And he's not switching.
wonder a little bit. Now, Seldon clearly in front. There's a good body shot. And you just wonder, he had Dixon hurt, had him down. Why not go after him a little bit? Why not put the pressure on? Instead, Seldon is the man on the bicycle.
Yeah, you're
trying to prove to himself that he can go 10?
Well, I don't know. You make a stronger case for the fact that to make your marketability better as a heavyweight, now that you box for 8.5 rounds, you go after and knock him out.
Not much action in this 9th round. Seldon piling up the points.
Comes close.
10th and final round. Mike Dixon in the blue, Bruce Seldon in the gold. It's been all Seldon, maybe a round for Dixon, maybe not. Dixon was down in the 7th for the fight. See how one-sided the punches thrown and punches landed are in favor of Bruce Seldon.
And there's a good right hand by Seldon. Now, the interesting thing about the way Bruce Seldon has come out in this round, an interesting drama unfolded in between rounds that we listened to. Carmen Graziano said, we're going to get a decision or you're going to knock him out. And Seldon said, a decision. I don't think I'll be able to knock this guy out in the last round. And yet he comes out trying to knock him out. And I thought that was an intriguing exchange between the two men anyway. It's shocking to hear a boxer say that,
especially after he had him down.
Yeah. And there was no mention of whether a hand was hurt or anything like that. That would have explained that comment by Seldon.
He said he was too strong for me to knock him out, was the quote out of the corner. Bruce Seldon.
All I know is the one time in this bout, there's that right again, the one time in this bout that Bruce Seldon really sat down on the right hand after a jab, he hurt Dixon and it was then put him in a position where the left hook knocked him down. He has not given himself a chance to do that much in this bout.
Seldon has shown that he's in good condition. He's kept up a lot of movement. He's thrown the jab well. And he's escaped from any difficulties when Mike Dixon presented them.
The crowd didn't like that move too much. You know, Bruce Seldon has done some very good things in this bout. He has shown a very good jab. His movement has been good, and that's what he's going to want against some of these other heavyweights. But, unfortunately, there's some things about the performance that have left something to be desired. It can't always be perfect, obviously, but it is, I don't think Bruce Seldon is going to press this one in his scrapbook and say, yeah, this was exactly the way I wanted to box, because he's not in against King Kong. He's in against a journeyman heavyweight.
Once again, Mike Dixon will survive, it appears. He has never been knocked out, but this will be his 4th consecutive loss. All distance decisions. For a moment or two, and giving him some trouble.
When he has been, look at
good work by Dixon.
There's so little of that in this bout. Able to land the hook. And you get the feeling in this round, Seldon is doing this because he feels he has to survive.
Strange. Good left hook by Dixon. The finish is strong, as he said he would. But
he just waited
way too late.
He waited the last 30 seconds to do it, though. That's not the impression Bruce Seldon wanted to leave in people's minds at the end of this bout. Now, it shouldn't negate the fact that he won this bout and won it handily, nor that he did some good things, but it's not exactly what he wanted at the end.
And again, you always have to think of how he will match up against the top heavyweights, because that's what he's shooting for. Waiting for the decision tomorrow on ESPN. Get the golf clubs out. Seniors Open, 2nd round. Good day for Dave Stockton.
In Atlantic City, we go to the scorecards. Phil Newman scores about 100-89. Frank Burnett scores at 99-90. Al DeVito also has it 99-90 for the winner by unanimous decision. The Atlantic City Express, Bruce Seldon.
One-sided victory for Bruce Seldon. It is only the 4th time he has gone to a decision in his pro career. He wins it over Mike Dixon. We'll be right back.